Hello, what's your name and what did you do today?
Hi, my name is Ramon I've played Sky Strikers today. I played in our case tourney and I went undefeated today.
Nice, congrats.
Otherwise, let's start off. Shoutouts to my two best friends, Simba and Cinder. Shoutouts because they're tokens, the actual token for the actual tournament. We don't talk about it. We'll go for the extra deck first. 3 Kakari, it's basic, it's simple. 3 Shizukus. I'm playing 3 Hayates because I play linkage at 3 and I want to consistently OTK, and you're gonna burn through faster resources. So you need to run 3 Hayates in my opinion. The one Kaina, because it linkage. Zeke, because you have to link off. Azalea, she's clutch, she pops a lot of stuff, move battle phase, popped again, so she's a 2 for 1. And do not be like me, I ran a Boroload, a Boros Sword, and an Axis Code. These arguably can be Nightmare Phoenix, or the Dark Charmer, and Nightmare Unicorn to go to the Axis Code line. I only played these two just to hope to, since it's locals, have a little bit more fun with my original dragons. And that is my extra deck. For the main deck, I hate her. She's everything to me. 3 Ray is Vey, but you already know what she does. 1 Rose, she's for the linkage, arguably the better waifu because she's more covered up. And for the spells, why no hand traps? I discussed with my friend a lot. We play power spells, and 1-for-1ing and stopping plays like Droll or Nib is strong and all, but why do that if you can just have a spell lineup that does it for you, like Book of Eclipse, flipping down bestial monsters, Boros Savage, and you're just forcing so much more. And since you're running spells, it all plays more better with the Sky Striker lineup. So for the spells, we got 3 linkage, it's a custom card, it tags out, it's awesome. 3 Widow Anchors, it steals, it negates, it's interruption, it goes for games. This card arguably is better, but shoutouts to one each. This is still from 2019 when I played Sky Strikers, but 2 engages because this is the most busted normal spell in the game, arguably. Besides, you know what, it's in the ban list. The one-ofs, I don't play 2 Afterburners. 2 is a bit, it's in the side deck when I get scared of desires, but you only need to play 1. It's a Shizuku target, it's an engaged target. 1 Char Cannon. Monster heavy graveyards are coming back, so I might play this to 2, but that's in my side deck. 1 multi-roll, 2 is a brick, 1 is the right ratio for me. It interrupts, it makes your spell speed 4, it's busted. Area 0, top 3, we love it, and if it's sent to graveyard, special summon a Sky Striker. Hornet Drones, because it's just an extra name and an extra body to extend. And now for the power spells, I was hoping to play against Purely today, so I ran 6 books. Book of Eclipse outboards Book and Boon, it's a 1-for-1, and these build up your spell lineups, and you're like, but you're just setting down. No, you have Azalea, you have Axis Code, you have Ray, you can run over stuff. It's, don't be afraid of the end phase. Plus, if they have the Ash Blossom to stop your Eclipse, yeah, that's it. More Kashtira's gone, you can play Forbidden Droplets now. It's so busted, just sending spells, just like Widow Anchor, Chain to negate, cool. Forbidden Droplets, send a Widow Anchor to negate that. And since you're playing so much draw cards in this deck, you're obviously gonna out-resource your opponent, so you can just Droplets for 3, 4, don't care. This is controversial, but I think it's right for our format. Triple talents, or tactic talents, people always keep forgetting. They're like, you only need to play 1 to draw 2, take control. Arguably, the hand rip effect and the take control allow so much tempo swing that I'd rather have this in my hand and have my opponent play so secondarily to what they're used to, because they're so afraid of these cards, talents and thrust. You only play 2 thrusts? Okay, 3 is greedy. That's what I wanted to go for, but I couldn't borrow from a friend, so 2. But arguably, these cards warp your opponent's game plan so much that they can't play comfortably. And as a Sky Striker player, you're just like, this is just extra copies of Engage, extra copies of your Change of Heart, extra copies of Talents. You're just basically balling.
Would you swap one of the triple tactics for the thrust eventually?
If I have the option, I would test it. But when I tested it, it was 6/6.
Okay.
It was a really greedy deck list, but eventually it just worked out because Labyrinth players, they just activate Monster Effect. Everybody activate Monster Effect. Unchained. Think of just every deck, and you have to play the Monster Effect. But if you don't play the Monster Effect just because your opponent have this card, you're not playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And when your opponent's not playing Yu-Gi-Oh!, you win the game. So those are the 5 powers, I call it. Arguably another thrust target. This card is busted. Just draw 2. Don't worry about the banish. If you're confident, just keep playing the game. Even if you banish your afterburners, short cannons, and everything, you have to keep playing Yu-Gi-Oh! It doesn't matter if you're playing like sub-optimally, as long as you're still progressing the game state, still fighting against your opponent, and just plussing off the deck, you win. I was hoping for more Labyrinth players or back row decks, so I'm a bit cheesy. 2 Lightning Storm, 1 Far Piece. You can still pop attack position, but everyone plays smart, so this is just a back row hate. Why not Cosmics? Cosmics pay 1,000 is good, but I'd rather have the full tempo swing of a blowout. Rhoda, it searches Ray, Change of Heart, this is just Widow Anchor on crack, Upstart, and Terraforming. You're like, why the 1 field spell and 1 Terra? You can always area 0 away your Terraforming, you can always multi-roll this away, you can always drop this away. No mine always like having your cards alive, because that's not worth it. Because as long as your cards can be used as fodder, you're pretty much progressing your plan, and as long as you're progressing your plan, you're doing well. For the side deck, of course, I was hoping for anti-spells, but everyone never seems to pull them, so 3 Cosmics for more back row hate. This is what I was talking about. If you're uncomfortable with Desires, this is what you replace, like some Talents, some Tactics, depending on how you play. For 2 of Afterburners for regular lists, 2 of copies of Shark Cannons to deal with graveyard decks, since like I played against Salads and just Shark Cannon away a Baylings just to safely pop with Afterburners, or more Shark Cannons to go to Access Code. And your second area 0, so it's 1 Terraforming and 2 field spells to be normal, then that's fine. But with playtesting, I want more power, I want more board breaking. That's why I put these at the side, if I ever get scared of the matchups. And for the power traps, evenly matched, you know what this card's just busted. It's just move to battle phase. You're like, but you're not swinging tempo, you can't Hayate, you can't do... Doesn't matter. If you can just 1-for-1 your opponent, and then how many cards are left in your hand? 5 cards. You're gonna win the tempo game. And 3 strikes, 3 judgments. I'm scared of special summons. So that's why you play these. If your opponent's like, you go first. Why not Floodgates? Floodgates make everybody play suboptimally. I rather have my opponent like focus back. If I play heavy back row, what they see, then they're like forcing out. That's why I have the judgments to stop their own lightning storms, their own harpies. But in the end, what I want to focus with this deck is its tempo and its advantage. If you can swing the game your way by 1-for-1ing, you win the game. It doesn't matter how like dire, how many negates. If your opponent can out-resource you by negating all of your stuff, then your opponent wins, obviously. That's why Dragon Link is very strong, because Boros, Savage, and Beastial Dispatter, they're big bodies alongside with negates. But in the end, to keep this deck profile much shorter, keep the game in your favor, tempo swing, know what your opponent cards does, and if you do that, look at me. I'm in locals with this case tournament, and you can win with older deck like Sky Strikers, as long as you know your matchups. Otherwise, thank you for listening to my list, and have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.